My name is Weeden, and I chose stuffing for my food and culture project. It's an important family meal that we always have during the holidays. I love it. I always have it during Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I actually only eat it during Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, when it comes to going to Thanksgiving at my grandma's house, we always have a special tradition where the stuffing that actually stuffed the turkey would only be eaten by my grandma and Uncle Kevin. The rest of us had to have the stuffing that was made for the side. And stuffing is traditionally a meal that you eat during Thanksgiving and Christmas because turkey's the main course. So usually stuffed turkey or different meats with herbs, bread, and different vegetables and spices. And you first saw this with the Romans. They added herbs and vegetables to various meats all the way back to the first century. And recently, you started to see Stovetop make their box stuffing, and that started in the 70s. And that's where you have a big push towards stuffing as a side dish. Now, when I traditionally have stuffing, we make it with the Stovetop stuffing mix. It's the sage one. We add ground pork, celery, onions, and chicken stock. So the way we prepare it, we first brown the ground pork, and then we chop up the celery, boil that in water until it's soft. We saute the onions in butter, and then we put the stuffing mix in a big bowl. We put the brown pork, the soft celery, and then the sauteed onions in the large bowl. After that, we put chicken stock into the large bowl so it can moisten up with the mixture. And then we put that bowl into a crock pot and warm it up for about an hour until it's ready to be eaten for a Thanksgiving meal. Now, we normally consume this as a side dish. You'll usually have it with turkey or mashed potatoes and usually eat it with a fork. So when it comes to the nutrition label, we have a cup of the mix, so about 56 grams. That comes out to about 214 calories. The ground pork will do about 100 grams, and that comes out to 297 calories. Most of the protein and fat come from the ground pork, and before that, most of the carbs come from the mix. The celery, we only put about 2/3 of a cup in, very low in calories but high in fiber. The sauteed onions, only about a cup. That's about 107 calories and 9.4 grams of fat, so that does add to the fat as well. And the chicken stock is about a cup, and that's 86 calories, and we do get a good amount of carb from there too. So when you add all the ingredients together, it comes out to 722 calories, 40.5 grams of protein, 35.3 grams of fat, 59.8 grams of carbohydrates, and the main micronutrients that we got were 1,193 milligrams of potassium, 1,603 milligrams of sodium, and the largest vitamin that came from those were 10.5 milligrams of niacin. Now, would I consider this healthy? I really don't think it's that healthy of a meal. It's very high in sodium. It's basically all the sodium you need for your daily intake, just in the one side serving, and it's very high in fat. The 35 grams of fat add up to about 16% of the total calories you need to intake, and the recommended calorie intake of fat is 20 to 35%. So getting 16% just from a side dish, that's a lot of fat to consume. So when it came to interview, I interviewed my friend, my roommate Eric, and I asked him, how is this food culturally relevant to you? He said every time he eats stuffing, it makes him think of family and friends, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas time. And then I asked, how often do you consume stuffing? And he said, same as me, only during the holidays, only during Thanksgiving and Christmas. For him, I asked, well, what ingredients do you use for your stuffing? He was very similar to me, but he used the stovetop chicken mix. He shredded chicken, added celery, and then chicken stock. And then I asked, outside of a traditional Thanksgiving food, which food would pair well with stuffing? And instantly his eyes lit up. He thought steak would be a great side with stuffing. Any type of protein with stuffing I think would be pretty good. And then I asked if he wishes to eat stuffing outside the holidays, since he only ate stuffing during the holidays. He said, yes, I don't know why I don't eat stuffing more often. I plan on adding it to my diet. So I hope you guys enjoyed my nutrition label on stuffing and get ready to eat it during Thanksgiving.